Hi everyone, this is Kalyan Kumar and welcome to my channel Product Review. Today I'm going to be talking about data storage and more importantly data access. Now storing data is one thing and being able to access it from anywhere at any time, probably with any device, is something else. If you are in the habit of storing data in portable hard drives like I do, then to access that data, one has to carry all those portable hard drives with you everywhere you go, which is definitely cumbersome. To do away with this problem, there is an alternative. That is cloud. You can upload your data into the cloud. A cloud is basically a server located somewhere in the world where you upload all your data, and this data can become accessible to you from anywhere in the world using any device as long as internet is enabled in that particular device. There are many public cloud service providers like Box, Dropbox, Google Drive, Microsoft's OneDrive, and Apple's iCloud service. But in all these public cloud services, there are 4 important problems that you will face. First problem that you will face will be privacy. Please remember, you are uploading your data. When you are uploading your data into a server, that server is located somewhere and somebody else is in charge of that server. So your data is in somebody else's hands. You are not in total control. Somebody else can control that data. Somebody else can have access to that data. So when it comes to uploading data, files into the cloud, anything which is personal or sensitive is not something that you should be uploading. The second problem is security. Is your data secure? One is the very people who manage the data have access to it, so that anyway is a security concern. Secondly, most of the hackers have this habit of hacking into public cloud services rather than hacking to a personal computer, because they can get much more data when they hack into a public cloud service. Though all these cloud services have a lot of security inbuilt in them, but remember, we have heard a lot of examples of email services that have been hacked, and therefore it's a very good chance that cloud services may also be hacked by these hackers. So security is a major problem. The third concern is the space. Now, most of these free cloud services will provide about 5 gigs of storage for free. But what is 5 gigs actually? I mean, if you actually take a DVD rip movie, that itself will come out to be 2 or 3 GB. So if you want to upload files, 5 GB is almost nothing. One can use a 5 GB probably in a few days. And as we are ever increasingly creating more and more content, our data keeps on increasing. So what happens is, if you want more than the minimum amount of free storage available to you, you will have to pay a subscription fee, either monthly or annually. Which means, suppose I have a data of 50 GB that I want to store in the cloud, I need to pay a certain amount of money, either monthly or yearly, to the cloud service providers to enable me to have that 50 GB. Now let us say I pay monthly. This means every month I pay just to keep that 50 GB free, just to keep that 50 GB available to me, not to talk about increasing the storage capacity. Now, if it were a one-time payment, that would have been perfectly fine, but it is an ongoing thing. Every month for the same 50 GB you have to pay a rent. And if you want to increase your data, definitely you will have to have more subscription fee. And fourthly, you also run into your data packs that you have taken as an internet service provider. Now you have a certain amount of quota in terms of uploading and downloading data. Now what happens is, in a cloud service, first of all you need to upload the data. So when you upload the data, most of the data gets consumed in the upload itself. And the worst part is, in most of the broadband services, at least in India I can tell you that, that the upload speeds are extremely slow. They're almost 1/9 of this speed that you have for downloads. Of course, if you have a lease line where you have a 1:1 ratio, that would be fine. But most of the broadband services have very poor upload speed. So not only are you going to waste a lot of time in uploading your data, you're going to consume a lot of bandwidth, you're going to consume your data pack soon enough in uploading itself. And the second problem that comes up is that suppose I have some file in a particular hard drive in my computer and I want to access that file in my mobile phone. How do I do it? Now either I email it to myself, then what's the point in having a cloud service? So if you have uploaded into a cloud service, you can access the cloud using your phone and get that particular file. But then you go to the internet again. So once you have your data consumed in uploading, and every time you want to consume the data, you have to download it from the internet. So you do consume a lot of data packages that is available to you. So if you have a certain amount of quota, let's say 10 GB or 20 GB per month, it will get consumed very fast in uploading and downloading a few data itself. So these are the major concerns when it comes to a public cloud service. The remedy for this is personal cloud. Now what is personal cloud? Personal cloud is a service where the data resides in your house. There are two types of personal cloud services that we have. The first is called NAS, N-A-S. That is called Network Attached Storage. Now these are a bunch of specially designed hard drives, and they are not the usual external hard drives that are connected by USB. These are specially constructed hard drives which come in a particular enclosure called the bay, which is attached to your router, your internet router, through an Ethernet cable. Once it is attached, that hard disk, that hard drive, that set of hard drives become accessible to all your computers, just like as if you have connected a USB hard drive to it. And they are also accessible through your mobile devices, through either a web browser or through a particular app. Now what these network storage devices have an advantage of is that the data resides in your house. So you don't have to upload anything. So there is no third party involved here. Your own data resides in your own house, in your own hard drive, safe and secure. So privacy concern is not there. Security is as good or as bad as it was even if the NAS was not there. So security is not a major concern here. And thirdly, there is no monthly subscription that you need to pay. It's in your house. That data is in your house. That hard drive is in your house. So it's a one-time purchase. But of course, one-time purchase is required and they are pretty expensive. These bunch of hard drives and the bay itself would cost you around $200. That's about 14,000 rupees Indian currency. So that bay along with the hard drive would set you back by about 50,000 rupees or so for a decent amount of storage capacity. But the advantage is it's a one-time payment. And it is far less than compared to the payment that you would be paying to the public cloud services on a monthly or an annual basis just to keep a small amount of data available to you. And the advantage of NAS is you can have multiple terabytes. I know people who have NAS storages up to 32 terabytes. And they have broken the 32 into 16 and 16. 16 terabytes for data storage and the other 16 to back up the backup of this, to ensure that if any drive fails, they're able to not lose the data. So NAS is an advantage in that. And NAS can store all your data. It can also do automatic backup. So if you have 4 computers in your house, the moment you make any particular change in any one of those computers, it automatically gets backed up only the changes. So it's an automatic backup machine. Now, it is also possible to access these NAS drives over the internet remotely. So anywhere in the world, you will be able to access through the web application your NAS drive and the data of that. Of course, the speed of download and upload will all depend upon how much of an internet speed that you have. But the advantage is there is no need to upload anything. The data resides on your hard disk. It's only when you remotely try to connect it, you need internet. If you are trying to connect your NAS device from your own home or from your own home network, internet is not required. But then again, we have the second option. The second option is more of a cloud service than a storage service. This particular service is limited only by the amount of hard disk space that you have in your house. All you have to do is to install a software in a computer, and your entire computer's folders and drives become accessible anywhere in the world from any device that you want. This service has been there for quite some time, but very few people know about it and very few people use it. And that is why I am making this video. This service is called Tonido. All you have to do is install Tonido into your computer, and the entire drives, all the drives of your computer, all the folders, all the files, they become easily accessible over the web remotely. So you're sitting in your office and you can have access to all your data of your computer at home. Tonido is a remote access and a service which enables you to share all your folders and files over the web. Now, for example, in a nutshell, if I want to put it, you have a desktop computer at home or probably a spare laptop, and all you got to do is install Tonido in that. Everything that is there in the computer become accessible, including the drives, the external drives that you attach to it. And the best part about Tonido, completely free. The software is free. It's not a trial software. It's a lifetime free software. You don't have to buy any device like a NAS. You don't have to upload anything. The data is already there in your computer. The data is already there in your portable hard drives. So instead of carrying your hard drive everywhere, you connect your hard drive to your home desktop computer, install Tonido in that, and be able to access all the data of your drive anywhere in the world from your mobile phone, from your computer, from your tablets, from any device that you want. So Tonido is an absolutely free service. Now I have an iMac that I bought in about 2012. It has got 4 USB ports. Now my iMac has an inbuilt storage of 2 terabytes. And I have hooked up 4 2 terabyte external hard drives to each of the 4 USB ports. So 4 into 8 and the computer storage of 2 TB 10. I've got 10 terabytes available to me, not only for data storage, but I can access them anywhere in the world, anytime. The only condition required is that the computer on which the Tonido is running should be switched on always and should be connected to the internet. When you access your files at home using Tonido from one computer to the other or from the mobile phone, internet is not required. You just need a Wi-Fi or a Ethernet connection without internet running. But it's only when you want to remotely access it, where you want to access some data from your office, or you are in some other country and you want to access the data from your home computer, only then you need internet access there. So this is what we're going to talk about in this video. Tonido, personal cloud service. Now, generally I make a complete video of the entire service, entire devices that I talk about in my product review. But on my daughter's suggestion, Nikita, she told me that I needed to make shorter videos, so I'm going to make this into 9 parts. In the first part, this is the introduction that you have, and now I'm going to show you in the first part how to install the Tonido server into a computer. That's part 1. In part 2, I'm going to show you how to access all your files and drives of your computer through another computer using Tonido. Thirdly, I'm going to show you how to access your computer's drives and files using mobile devices, smartphones. And part number 4 is the place where we talk about creating guest profiles. For example, I'm a teacher. Now, I have about 200 students and I want to share some files with them, and I have those files in my computer at home. But I'm not going to give them the user ID and password of Tonido. I don't want them to access the entire computer. So what I can do is I can create some guest profiles and I can share specific folders in those guest profiles, and I give them the guest username and password, and they will be able to access only that particular folder. And then I can even give permission to them to only read or read and write as well. So the fourth part is about creating guest users. The fifth part is going to be talking about how to access as a guest using a computer and a mobile phone. The sixth part is where we're going to run multiple Tonido servers from one computer. Say for example, in a house there are two people, A and B. They have a single desktop, but they have two user accounts. A only accesses the folders that A can access, B access only the folders that B can access, and they each other cannot access each other's folders. They don't want to. That's why they have a separate user account in their desktop. Now what happens is, if they install Tonido and create two guests, one for A and one for B, the Tonido's main server would have access to all the drives anyway. So one of those people would be the administrator, and that person would be able to access all the folders. But they don't want that. A only wants to access A's folder, B only wants to access B's folder. So I'm going to tell you how to make sure that you can run two Tonido instances in one computer, each Tonido instance only restricted to certain folders. And believe me, this is the only video which will teach you how to do it. There is no video on YouTube available that tells you how to run two or more instances of Tonido from one computer. In fact, it's not even available in the web. You can Google it, you will not be able to find it anywhere. So that's why in this particular video, I'm going to talk about that. The seventh part comes up when we want to access these multiple Tonido instances over a computer and a smartphone. Part number 8 is the part where I'm going to talk about a very important case. What happens if you lose your user account? For example, something goes wrong with Tonido server. In fact, it never does. So I've been using it for more than 3 years. It's never gone wrong. But let's say for some reason Tonido cranks. You uninstall Tonido. Now you reinstall Tonido. How to get back your user account that you created in the beginning? So the 8th part is about that. And the last part, the concluding part, will be about installing Tonido Sync client. Now what this basically does is that I have got a primary computer on which Tonido exists. The Tonido server exists. On computer B, I can install Tonido Sync client, and I can specify the folder of a primary computer that I want to sync with the secondary computer. So whatever changes in that folder is made in the primary computer, all those changes will be automatically synced with a particular folder in computer B. But remember, it's a one-way communication. Changes in computer primary will get reflected in B over syncing, but it will not go the other way around. You make a change in B, A's folder is not going to get affected. So you can sync certain folders with a primary computer over multiple computers, and whatever changes you make in the primary computer, they will automatically get reflected in the secondary computers. So that is the 9th and the last part, concluding part of this video. So let's get going and let's start the first part by installing the Tonido server on your computer. Alright, now let's install the Tonido server. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Google and type Tonido and go to the first site which says Tonido run your personal cloud. Click this and now go and click free download for home use, free download. Now hit server. Now go for the particular operating system you're in. I'm right now in Windows, so I'm going to install Tonido for Windows. and now click run. If you want, you can save it. I want to save it. I don't want to have unnecessary files in my folders, so I'm just going to run it, and now the Tonido server will run and then it will install. And I'm going to fast forward this. Now we're nearing the end of the running of the Tonido, and now it's going to ask us to install. Just follow the on-screen instructions. Create a desktop shortcut, would like to do that. Install is installing, and now launch Tonido. Finish. Now you got to fill in the details here. First it will ask you the language, then it will ask you to enter the account name. To choose any account name that you want, but you got to check whether it is available or not. Let me try Guru 1. Let me check whether it is available or not. It will check all the available ones. All the people who use Tonido, it will check whether it is available or not. Guru 1 is available. Now enter the password. Repeat the password. Put the email ID. Agree to terms of use and say create. It's logging in. Click next. Now it's asking you allow remote access to all folders, allow remote access to only specific folders. Right now I'm going to allow access to all the folders. I want the entire computer to be available to me online. So I click next. Enable indexing. Now if you want, you can enable indexing, which means it will index all videos and music and pictures, but I'm not going to do that because it is quite taxing on the server, so I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to uncheck this and say next, and then close, and says you can get mobile apps. You have the App Store for the iPhone. You can have Tonido, this kind of a logo kind of a app. You can get it in Google Play, Windows Phone and BlackBerry. Close. Now the Tonido server has installed. That is how simple it is. And all these folders are available to you. All these folders are available on any computer or any mobile device for you to use. And as you can see, I've got a desktop, documents, user home. See, I have got only one drive in this computer. D and E are the external hard drive that I've connected, and it is giving me an access to that also. So now let's see various parts in this. The same thing, the same list will appear in the form of a gallery here. You can go in the form of list. And now let's look at various parts here. Settings, let's go to settings. First is general. In the general tab, it shows you various information including your WAN and LAN IP, WAN IP, LAN IP, etc. And the port number is 10001. It's asking you whether you want any updates or not. Right now, no updates available. You can keep checking updates. In account, it shows you to change your display name. It asks you if you want, you can change the password, you can change your email ID. You can include additional security by having some kind of a question to which only you know the answer. Is asking you where you want the data to be. Change the location of Tonido uses to store all user data. There is a particular folder it makes where all your user data are logged in. If you want, you can change that. You can change the language, and if you have multiple accounts, you can switch accounts here. That we'll see later on. Next is network. Network settings is not very important as it simply gives you the network info. Enable relay, you must check this always. Enable remote web access, otherwise you will not be able to access it remotely. and something about network settings. In miscellaneous, you can still have an option of allowing remote access to all folders or allow remote access to only specific folders. You can still do that. And if you remember, I had unchecked indexing. It is unchecked. If you want, you can re-index it and it will index all videos, music and pictures one by one. But this is very taxing, as I said before. This is very taxing on the server, so I always leave it off. Then you have the camera uploads. In camera uploads, you'll find that I've enabled it, and you can choose the folder you want where the pictures to go, and this will work only when you enable this also in your mobile app. And when you do that, then all your gallery or your camera roll will automatically get uploaded into this particular folder. Ignore list is to hide the file and folder names while accessing this particular Tonido. iTunes playlist import. If you enable this, it will import all the playlists from this computer, but remember, it will not import the music. And jobs is about telling you what background jobs are in progress. Log shows you various activities. Right now there are no activities, we just logged in. So log shows you various activities like who logged in, time of logging in, amount of data exchanged, etc. And about is simply about Tonido. So this is how a Tonido server is installed. In the next part, that is part 2, we will access this computer from another computer. Please hit the subscribe button, as it is this encouragement of yours that helps small channels like mine grow and helps me make more videos like this. If you have any comments, suggestions, observations, please drop them in the comment section below. And if you like the video, do hit the like button too. This is Kalyan Kumar signing off. Goodbye. Have a great day and thanks for watching.